So I thought I would just speak over this speed paint. I usually have music over it, but this time I thought, I'll try talking. I'm really bad at talking for a long time, so this is going to be a challenge. This is about 9 minutes of speaking, which I am not used to. There's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of nervous laughing, definitely. But, this is sort of an exercise for myself to get better at speaking slower. I tend to speed off from nervousness and to try and articulate what I'm saying. So, here we go. First off, I'd like to say, sorry if you hear the dog in the background. It's just non-stop barking, but it looks like it's calmed down for now. Alright, so on the screen, we've just got a painting study, basically. I just took a picture off Pinterest and just, went at it. Tried to render it and, understand what exactly I was looking at. And here I'm trying the sort of painting blending style technique, which brings me to what I wanted to talk about, which is, where is my art going? Why do I say this? Because I'm actually pretty new to the painting sort of blending style. I had always been so used to, the strict line work and the sort of cell painting shading style. And so painting is definitely new to me. And I feel that right now I'm in a sort of transitional period in my art. Like, I'm sort of repeating it, but yeah, I had initially stuck with line work, or even not even that. I would just stop at doodling. It would be too overwhelming to me to even consider coloring. I didn't really start coloring until like maybe only last year, because it just felt like too many things to consider. And whenever I did try to color, I wasn't picking my colors correctly, and I just avoided it. I just liked doodling and never really completed a piece. So this is a big step for me. I feel that I'm finally understanding what it means to complete a piece. And it's really fun, definitely. My first proper completed piece, I would reckon, was the Bill and Ted one. That's where I had actually painted it all, colored it all in, including a background and all that, and I loved it. So I feel like I'm slowly getting into the process of actually completing a piece. And it's exciting. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And yeah. So this painterly style, I'd always avoided it. It looked really complex for some reason. And it just looked really hard to me. And I just never tried it out. And thinking back now, I sort of regret that. I sort of wish I had tried it earlier, because it's actually not too bad. So this is sort of a reflection, I suppose. So, how did we get here? Why did I suddenly try the painterly style? Well, it wasn't really sudden, it was sort of gradual. And again, looking back, you can connect the dots. As that's a quote by some president, but I can't remember who said it. Okay, so I've got some notes down here. Basically, how did I get here? It started with the 100 Heads Challenge by Ahmed Aldoori. And that's when I had to go at realism. And realism was also one of the other things that I avoided a lot. I had attempted, sketching faces maybe once or twice or a few times in the past, and I really hated how it turned out, and so I just never did it again. I just stuck to this sort of cartoony, sort of anime style. I mean, my stuff still looks pretty anime, not gonna lie. But yeah, I just avoided realism for a really, really long time. It just was not very exciting to me. And so, Ahmed Aldoori's 100 Heads, I don't know, I was feeling pretty good. I was just open to new things, and I thought I would give it a go. And I actually enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed the realism sketches now. I think it's because there were so many faces, and so, I just had to move on to the next one. and I didn't have to look at every single detail and refine it so much, and it sort of looked better like that. So after that challenge, I found that realism's not so bad. It's just pretty fun. And so I gave it a go on digital wise, and my first digital one was pretty bad. But I just kept at it, and the final piece turned out pretty good for like never having done really realism before. And I just kept going, and that's when I really started to understand the painting style, which is basically a lot of time and a lot of blending. Yeah. And so that's how we're here. That's how we are now trying out that painting style and experimenting with it. And it's been a lot of fun. I like my pieces a lot more now. They look finished, more finished, and I'm starting to realize that why it's so important to be, rendering real life so you can understand the forms better. So that goes back to the fundamentals, which I never really did, and I'm gonna be working at it. I'm gonna be working on my fundamentals again. In the past, it was sort of mindless doodling. I wasn't really paying attention. It was, a lot of copying on books and not really any proper learning. That's why I feel like my ability to, copy what I see is pretty good. But the ability to make it look realistic is a technique that I'm lacking in, just because I've never really practiced it. So that's probably it. If there are there were two things I would tell my past self, it's to try new things. Don't be afraid. I avoided, trying painting for too long, and I'm really seeing how fun it is. So I wish I had tried it earlier. And also, number two is you can't avoid realism or really understanding what you're seeing. Learn to see, if that makes sense. And understand how to render things. Another thing that I learned was that you don't paint what you think you see. Oh, no, sorry. You don't paint what you expect to see, but what you see. That was also a quote from another book, but I sort of understand it a lot better now. Basically, if you think the skin is supposed to look like skin colored, like peachy, whereas in the picture, it's actually a white. I don't know if I'm explaining this right at all. Basically, you don't paint what you expect to see, you just paint what you see. I'm sure there's better examples, and I am just stumbling over my words, which is not helpful at all. But that is it for this, and that is a wrap.